The reason why we're here is we're going to be talking all things rugby with Sonny from the Shepparton Bulls Rugby Union Club. Sonny, good morning.
Morning.
Mate, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling fine. Just ready to go. There we go.
Big day today down there at Macquarie College.
Vibrant Reserve.
Vibrant, that's the word. I couldn't think of it. Mate,
Don't mind him, Sonny.
I tell you what, it's not only big in the fact that, you got a good game down there today, but I believe Michael and I are going to be out there having a bit of a kick around with some of the others at half-time.
Yes, so you'll probably go up against our leading goal kicker.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
The leading goal kicker, yeah. So he'll take you through a bit of pointers and then go from there and see how he's go.
Throw down a bit of a challenge. Do you reckon two blokes with zero rugby idea, or rugby skills, I should say, two blokes with zero rugby skills?
I've got a rugby idea.
I've got a rugby idea. Do you reckon we'll go all right? Or
I usually be fine.
As long as we're just kicking goals and no one's going to belt us, eh?
That's right. Nah, you'll be fine.
Hey, looking at today's game, I believe it's the last game of the regular season today.
Yeah, yep. So we're up against Maroondah, which we were sitting fourth on the ladder. Looking for a good game. They had a draw against Bendigo last week, so it should be a good contest today.
No, that should be a ripper contest in that regard.
Yeah.
And, obviously, last game heading into finals. What's happening? Well, obviously, next week the finals action, I believe.
Yeah, so we'll be playing the same team this next week in the first final, and then we'll be so just a little bit of insight on what we got coming up next week.
So, mate, if you go through today pretty well unscathed, and then you get through next week, you win in the semi-final, do you go straight into the grand final from there?
Yep. So that's it. So you've got the semi-final now. One will play 4, 2 will play 3. Winner goes straight to the final, and all the finals are held in Melbourne and Box Hill, which all the Victorian rugby is held at the same spot. So be good insight for some scouts or stuff like that to have a look what's out here.
So this is our very last game in Shep. Next week we head down to Box Hill.
Correct.
Yep. So if we win next week in the semi, straight to the final, grand final, in Box Hill.
Yeah, fair enough. So obviously, as you said, taking on a Maroondah today, and then obviously we'll take them on again next week by the sound of it. Any ducks and drakes to be played today? Anything that we need to look at? Well, I suppose for do you hold back today as opposed to next week, or do you just try and just keep doing what you've been doing and dominate the competition from the day one?
We won't hold back. We'll go hard, but I will be subbing most of my starting squad next week off. Just give other players a good run in that position. We've got players coming back from injury as well. Some players have been missing for a couple of weeks due to work reasons or overseas, so we'll need to give them a bit more game time coming into next week. So should be pretty good actually.
Sonny, what do you reckon the scoreline will be today?
Hopefully our side. Hopefully goes our way. But I don't know, if we stick to how we're doing, and the players that come off the bench keep that intensity up, or take that intensity to a different level, I think we should. I don't know, what do you reckon? We should crack for 30, go for 30 plus?
I reckon 30 plus. Why not 50?
Well, the last two games you played against them...
Done.
Yes.
The last two times you played them, Sonny, this year, I mean, earlier in the season at home you played them and you beat them 65-12, and then you played them down there and you beat them 60-12 as well. So you'd be thinking something around that sort of margin would be probably acceptable?
Yeah, okay, we'll go for 60. But anything, as long as we get the win.
A win is the start.
Yeah, just get the W and then we'll just go from there. But you never know. They'll be coming up with a bit of confidence at the moment because they come off a good draw against Bendigo. So they'll be pretty confident coming up.
Jordan Crawford.
Have to let them know that, we're a different side than Bendigo.
Yeah, no, for sure. In that regard, definitely. Jordan Crawford had a fantastic day out last week against Monash Uni, scoring 20 points in the big win last week.
Yeah, he played an awesome game. He was kicking 60 metres on the fly, and that helped us out. We got pinned in our half, and we just needed a clearing kick, and he got us a clearing kick. So he put the pressure back on them, so it was all good.
Tell you what I noticed, Sonny, actually looking at some of the other games this weekend, Ballarat have already forfeited against Bendigo, so that gives Bendigo an extra week to prepare leading into finals next weekend.
Yeah, which I think some of the boys are coming over here to see how we go against Maroondah, so I'm not too sure, but I'd rather play every week rather than have a rest, because you need that physicality, you need that game time, you need, just to see how we're going, trying different things, but we'll see how we go.
Fantastic. What time's kick-off there today?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, and is there Ripper Rugby beforehand?
Yep, so that Ripper Rugby will be at 2.
Yep.
But if you guys want to come down a little bit early, you can hold the tackling bags and see how we go.
All right, we'll see what we can do. Be good
no worries.
It'll be good to get down and check out a bit of rugby union action, ladies and gentlemen. If you also want to do that, make sure you get down and support the Shepparton Bulls on that behalf, I reckon. Sonny, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We'll leave it there and we'll talk to you a bit later on.
No worries. See you soon.
Take care.
See you, mate.
Sonny there, the coach of the Shepparton Rugby Union side, and I'll tell you what, there's a bit going on down there at the moment, down at the Vibert Reserve, Mr. Riley.
Yeah, I got it wrong. I couldn't think of it. I just had this. I had it, and then when you have something, and then you go to say it, and you just have this mental blank, and it's just staring at me. Yeah. It wasn't a good moment.
Disappointing.
I had a